Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to episode 13 of the Brandy and Rena show. We have some crazy new moon energy happening this week. And although it's already happened, we kind of thought we'd talk about it because, these things affect us all, whether you admit to it or not. Just like the tides of the oceans are affected by the moon, so are we. And in the work that I do, we recognize the new moon energy 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after. So you literally have a full week of this energy coming at you that you are able to work with, and all of the other things. So, Brandy, tell us what is happening.
So, new moon in Cancer. So the moon is in domicile or at home in Cancer. So it's a very strong moon. And so very strong moon stuff, emotions, emotional response. For us air signs, we hate this. I'm kidding. Ooh, emotions. But what's interesting this time is that it's squaring Jupiter exactly on this new moon that we had 2 days ago. So that brings expansion to it. So this was a very, very new moon, very new moon energy because Jupiter is expanding that even further. So when we have that, it makes us sometimes want excess. It makes us maybe want to do some of the more immoral things, because it's making us want to kind of lose control a little bit. Excessiveness is keyword. So, I don't know, Rena, what was your experience?
So I found it, extremely insightful. I love the new moon. I really do. This one felt extra dark, like very introspective, introverted. I don't know. I've been super emotional, and I know there's things happening out in the world, but the past couple of nights I've went to bed and just for no reason at all, nothing has in particular happened to me for me to experience this, but I'll just sob. Just loud sobbing. It's wow. Like I can't even, it doesn't stop. Like I've cried myself to sleep and I'm just like, what in the world? And the only thing I can think of is like needing to probably purge some things, even if I don't quite understand what they might be. I'm very empathic, so I'm feeling all of those things that are happening in the world. Also, as a woman, I'm feeling all this woman feminine energy that we are experiencing. It is just crazy stuff.
It is crazy, and the timing is crazy. We were talking about that yes, I'm put it out there that Roe v. Wade gets overturned right before a new moon in Cancer, which is ruling the mother energy, the nurturing, maternal,
shining the light on the places that needed to be seen. And I don't necessarily think that it's referring to I think it's just like more of the women need the spotlight. It's time for us to rise and speak up. We have to find a way to find our voices and use them with grace. So that's probably the best way I can explain what I was trying to say there.
Right. Well, my experience with this new moon. So me and Rena talk about this all the time. I am not a new moon fan. I know, I was born on a new moon. I'm supposed to like that. I'm not. I'm a full moon person, but this time, and hindsight's 2020. I'm sitting here today thinking, why? Well, one, it just felt really strong this time. Of course, it is a strong new moon, but I was like, why was I responding so negatively this time? And I kind of think I put it together. So it was squaring Jupiter. Jupiter is wisdom. It's learning. It's like wanting to expand. Jupiter, it rules Sagittarius and Pisces, ninth house stuff. And so I think if I had been a good astrologer and kind of planned on this and planned my life around this like I should, if I had spent that time diving into learning, reading the 5 new astrology books I had ordered, and using that energy, because you know how energy is, you got to use it or it'll use you.
Right.
I think it would have been really beneficial. And so I feel like I lost out a little bit. So today, been reading, I've been studying, and it's gone a lot better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I have also felt like this is a really powerful manifesting time. So Brandy and I ordered some very special candles from this incredible shop that I've never been to in New York, from Enchantments.
Enchantment, amazing store. So if anyone's or if you're in New York, go see it, but they will ship. So you can order these candles like we did.
Yes. So interestingly, I've been working with this Jupiter candle. Yeah, so I don't know. I've just really felt like this is a powerful manifesting time. So I've been really diligent about self-care in the aspect of doing my morning meditations, connecting with my light frequencies, creating that personal sacred space, using my affirmations and power statements to lead me forward. So yeah, I don't know. Through all of this, that is the one thing I've really been doing. And I haven't left the house much this week, and I think that's okay.
Well, Cancer rules the 4th house. And so anyone who has a really strong like 4th house or these planets in the 4th house, they tend to be homebodies. So when you're having a transit like that, it can, Cancer is very inwards and staying home. It actually rules the home, the physical home. So
yeah,
that makes sense that a transit would affect you like that.
It's very interesting. I can't say that I felt foggy, but I'm also like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, not foggy, but also kind of one foot in this realm and one foot in another realm.
I've had that too. And so Cancer moon is very intuitive. It's very psychic. And so for us, I believe everybody has psychic abilities, but some of us are highly sensitive with these abilities, especially ones who have been developing them and working with them. I've had the same thing. Like as a psychic medium, I usually have that switch. I can turn it on, I can turn it off. And here the last couple of years, it stays off unless I turn it on. It's actually been wonderful. This week, not so much.
Yeah, no.
I'm feeling, everybody's people around, and it's,
yeah, it's really been interesting. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's crazy. It's wild. And probably haven't had energy this intense to experience in the world for quite a while. Not like this. Like there is just a whole nother level of energy here that we're dealing with.
There's a lot going on with the USA, with the USA's natal chart, because countries have a natal chart just like we do. So there is the nation chart. I use the Sibley one if anyone is like me and researches all those. But it's a Sagittarius rising chart. But we're in a Pluto return. And so last week, Pluto hit that exact return to the US's Pluto. And
wow.
And it's going to happen a couple more times. So we need to have a show just about that one. There's a lot going on astrologically with the USA.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Lots of crazy things, guys. But
it's not over.
You're right. And like Brandy said earlier, even before we started recording, make sure you vote. Make sure you are registered to vote. Make sure you vote.
It does matter. I know there's frustration with it. I live in Texas. I'm in a very gerrymandered area. Okay. just go vote still. And especially in the local elections, that's my PSA. Like, don't wait for just presidential. These
Right.
state senators, they affect a lot of your rights as well. So go vote.
I have also seen, not quite sure how to phrase this either, but it's like people unable to face their truth. Like there's this, there seems to be this web that people are spinning their own stories and unable to actually like stay centered and be able to speak what is really true, whether that's their ethics and morals or about events happening in their life. All of these things, it's kind of crazy. This morning on my Facebook page, I always have, for Thursdays, I'll have some type of affirmation or how to work with a color. I mentioned peridot and lime green. That would be the color to restore balance in your life and align you with your truth and your dharmic path. So if anybody's interested or seeing the same things I am, you could even do something like, I don't know, maybe you have some sort of a small lime green token. You can hang that like at heart level at your desk. If you want to, you know, align with your centeredness, or if you are welcoming truth into a particular area in your home, like maybe you need some truth while you're working. Maybe you need to see through that, the BS that's coming at you.
It is empowering.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah.
Make life a little easier for you.
I'm sure that's some of the new moon too. That's, you know, that darkness of the new moon and having to see your way through it. So
yeah,
kind of interesting there.
But I want to go back what you said about how it's a great time for manifesting. It really is. And so, and that can be just for like, we don't have to get too woo-woo about it, as I say. That's just about simply like sitting down saying, what is it I want? What is it I want to, there's cycles with the moon. You know, what do I want to work on for the next 4 weeks or maybe 6 months till you get to the opposite, the Capricorn.
Right.
Full moon, or, you know, full moon when the moon's in Cancer and Capricorn season. So it's a great time to kind of think about that and work on some goals, the short-term and long-term goals. So very powerful moon for that this time around. And it's not too late. The new moon was on Tuesday night, but we're working with that energy all month for 4 more weeks. So.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. Lots of interesting stuff. The energy is definitely powerful. Tap into that and figure out how you need to best navigate that for you. Brandy, what kind of services do you offer that people might be able to learn more about how this energy is affecting them if they have questions? Because I'm not an astrologer, so I don't even know how to talk about a lot of this stuff. You know, that's how it's affecting you.
Sure. So a natal chart reading, amazing, because then you'll know what house is in what sign. So for me, this new moon hit the 3rd house, communication. So there's been, you know, I feel like with this new moon, I've had times where I'm very expressive, I'm very blunt, and times where I'm like, I think I'll keep my mouth shut here because I don't need to create tension, you know? So there's been a lot of ebb and flow, like moon stuff with the 3rd house. So getting a natal reading, you'll know, oh, okay, Cancer's in this house. This is where the new moon is. These are some things I'm going to be working on for the next month. And it'll be interesting to see what happens on the flip side of it in Capricorn season.
Would you, excuse me, my stupid allergies over here.
I have them too. Like, let's take an allergy break.
With a natal chart, if we're looking at this new moon energy and let's say, well, Brandy, you know, I'm always working on my business and manifesting in this and trying to figure out how to, you know, use this for this and this for this. If I'm working on a particular area of of this manifesting, would you possibly be able to see how some of this stuff works out?
Yeah.
How that Capricorn energy would affect it, maybe some, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a transit reading, and that's great, especially if you already know your chart and you don't really need to go over the natal stuff, but you want to know how is everything, like transits, everything in the sky affecting me now and for the next year. There's a transit reading where you can look all into that, how it's affecting certain areas like work. And
very interesting. Yeah. Definitely. So natal chart first to learn about who you are and why these energies affect you the way that they do. And then when you have questions beyond that, you figure out how these changes in energy are affecting you, right?
Exactly.
Kind of the difference.
Okay. I have clients who get, actually clients who already know their natal charts. A lot of times will still get a natal reading, because they want to hear my interpretation. Every astrologer has their own interpretations. They have their own knowledge. I mean, astrology is so, I mean, there's just, you can't learn it all. So there's some who specialize in psychological astrology. I'm kind of more into that these days. There's medical, there's, everybody brings something to the table. So sometimes they'll get a reading just to kind of see what I'm picking up out of it. And then get the transit readings on their birthday, or just when life is getting a little chaotic, they might order the transit reading just to see what's going on. How long
what's going on over here? Yeah, that's crazy.
It's helpful.
Definitely. So I popped your website up here, Brandy, the whole time you were talking. So this is how you guys can find Brandy's natal charts. Head to her website. And you'll be able to, is it like a shop tab? Where do we find these readings?
Go under services. That's where you find all my services, and it'll list birth chart reading, transit reading. If you have questions, email me. We'll get you set up the right one.
Perfect. Yeah. So then you don't have to worry about picking the right one. You can just message Brandy and say, hey, which one would best fit me, if you have questions about it.
Definitely. And for you, Rena, like, for new moon, or just, what like service that you offer would be the most beneficial during this kind of time for people?
Oh, well, I would highly recommend space clearing. So what I do, it's a little bit, yes, I use sage every day. So please don't think that I don't. I use sage and herbs to clear.
We always have it nearby.
Yes. But like, especially yesterday, for some reason, I thought the new moon was yesterday. I don't know why.
It peaked technically 9:52 Central Time, Tuesday night. So yesterday it was still definitely within the orb. So yeah, you're good.
Interesting. Yeah, for some reason I just had it programmed into my brain that new moon was on Wednesday, and this was what I was going to do, my space clearing work. So every new moon and every full moon, I have different pieces of this space clearing piece that I do depending on. But the basics of it is that I work with these light frequencies to create a positive vortex that acts like a vacuum of energy. It's going to pull in the density and transmute and transform, recycle that energy back into the universe, and provide you with a space that is just really pure, high vibrational. I mean, even your lights seem brighter after you do this work. It's really, really cool. I did one. I went to a friend's office last week Friday, and her boss had me come in and do this space clearing. It was crazy. I mean, there was a smell. That's always a sign of dense energy, like this lingering, musty kind of a smell. And excuse me, it was really like hot and stuffy in that office. So her boss and my friend actually sat down and did this space clearing with me. It was really amazing. I mean, you could literally like all of a sudden there was fresh air and it smelled really good. And there was this cool breeze. And it was like, it's just really an incredible experience to be a part of. I offer these both online, so you can be a part of it. We can do this via Zoom, or
it's remote, so you don't have to be local.
Right. You don't have to be local. If you are local and open to the idea of it, I can come to your home or your office or property, whatever it might be, and do the work too. It's really quite fascinating. Something else that happened with that space clearing that I found super interesting, another office worker who had moved into this apartment quite a few years ago, like 12 years ago, still had some boxes she apparently hadn't unpacked. And even though she wasn't there at the time of this space clearing, just happened to be inspired to start unpacking some of that stuff that had been packed up for literally 12 years. So, I mean, it affects everybody involved in the space in just really beautiful, beneficial ways. It's quite incredible. So
that is fascinating that, just having the workspace cleared affects somebody on the home level.
Yes. So, a lot of times people, and of course we should, our home literally is our sacred space, but your workspace should also be sacred space too, so that you are able to do the work efficiently. We have these things like EMF that affect us and our health and wellness. Keeping your space cleared is so much more than just, a lot of times we'll just burn some sage and say a blessing. It is so much more than just even clearing that emotional energy out. Like it literally boosts our health and our wellness and our ability to manifest and be successful in so many cool ways. It's incredible work.
Yeah, it affects everything.
It does.
Yeah. It does. And they can find that on your website then.
Yes, you can find that on my website. It is under services and advanced space clearing. So it's really amazing. Like I said, I always encourage people to be a part of the work if possible. I do have some clients who, these are clients who have been with me for years that will just have me do the space clearing because they might be busy, whatever, but they know that it needs to be done. But a lot of times people will make sure that they're part of it because it's really interesting to see the process and what comes forward, the information that's gifted to them in order to, do the clearing. It's quite fascinating. So
I bet I'd be right there being like, what are you picking up, Rena?
Heck yes. Well, and my experience is one thing, your experience is another thing. And when we can collaborate and share these pieces, like sometimes I might see signs or symbology that don't make sense to me, but they might make sense to you. And when I'm able to share that with you, it'll make sense to you why this might be coming up. It's interesting. So
fascinating work. I'm always just super fascinated by what you do and how it works. So amazing. It's so amazing.
Really interesting. There's never a dull moment, and okay, so it's really the space clearing, I was really resistant. I had even called Brandy early that morning and I was like, I can't go. I can't do this. I don't like the vibes I'm picking up. It was just heavy and dense. And, I feel this in my body too. So I know what I'm up against before I even get there. And the whole way there, like traffic was weird. I had to do some quick thinking to avoid a couple accidents. I'm like, what is going on here? And it was interesting because I was like, poop is going to hit the fan when I get there. It was just like, there is so much resistance. And when I got there and actually we started doing the clearing, we had found this negative vortex that needed to be closed, but it wasn't anything awful or scary or anything like that. It was just like this density, and this is where it lived. So of course it doesn't want you to come to its house and close it up and clean it up. You know, it likes its mess. So.
Isn't that odd? And I feel like just before even tarot readings or some astrology you will get a wave of energy sometimes about what needs to be addressed, or
oh yeah,
if there's going to be a deeper conversation than what you planned on. It's interesting how that you get those premonitions.
Crazy. It is so interesting. And I love energy for that reason. Like, it's so amazing what comes forward in each and every piece. So yeah, I love it. It's magical stuff.
I love it too. Too.
Awesome sassin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know, Brandy, you want to draw an oracle card? What do you think?
I do. I've been playing with my cards this whole time. I did what you did last week. I got my music oracle deck.
Oh, do you want me to pull mine out too?
I think we should. Wouldn't that be fun? So I actually don't have very many oracle. Most of mine are actual tarot decks.
Yeah.
I used to have a lot, and then the lady who had her name on them decided to start shit talking readers.
Brandy, you're so funny. This is the deck I was gonna use.
I had no idea. I would have been a little bit more polite.
Well, and what's funny is I was like, I don't know. I'm just going to grab one out. And I was like, no, I don't really know if this is right. So I know.
Well, I mean, the cards are beautiful. I personally just got rid of mine because like I'd get mad every time I saw her name, and I'm not mature, I like to.
Well, her partner who had a hand in it, that Radley Valentine, he's still true to his word. So I always take that into consideration as well.
I think that's a good thing to do. And I got to say, like, people do change, people expand, people develop. I have no problem with someone changing their belief system, but the fact that she was trashing people, like, oh my gosh, that was.
Do you know what I literally think that is? And this goes along with the space clearing and energy kind of topics we're talking about. I think she has an entity attachment. When you see that quick personality change, I mean, it was just like one day she's on this spectrum, and the next day, like it was like her light shifted and she started speaking completely different. That is a true telltale sign of entity attachments. So,
yeah, it was weird. I don't even know. I think I missed when not to like bring the conversation to this, but I missed when it happened, and I just happened to get on social media and saw, like, I don't remember what it was, astrologers working with the devil. I don't remember how she put it.
Yeah.
I
wow. Yeah. I missed the whole boat. I had no idea.
I'm always like late to the game.
Yeah. So,
sorry, I didn't mean to like go there.
No, it's just really interesting. And if you guys do, I've had people personally come to me for help with that situation. I do work to help people with that. So just like there's the environmental piece of the work that I do, there's the mind, body, soul piece. And sometimes that entity attachment, I mean, it can be as little as like your energy is really drained and you're really sick and, just some crazy stuff. The personality change would be a big one. So if you're looking for help with that, I would recommend the spiritual alchemy sessions I offer. So that's the mind, body, soul piece of the geomancy work that I do. It's interesting.
You have an amazing toolbox. Like there is.
Oh, and I love every tool that's in that box. I don't know that I have a favorite. It's hard to pick a favorite child.
It is hard, isn't it? Like when you have. Do you remember that time I put my tarot cards away and I was like, I'm just going to do astrology? And like, I missed them so much. I couldn't believe I did that to them.
They started crying and
They were screaming at night, Brandy. We still have things to say. Yeah, it was,
All right. I'm going to probably pee my pants if we pick the same card again.
Yeah, for those who missed it last week, we even had different decks. I had just a regular playing card deck with musicians, and she had this one, and we both got Dolly Parton. It was like the weirdest thing.
That was the most magical thing that ever happened. I thought that was just the cat's butt. It was awesome. It was cool. Better than root beer.
I don't like root beer, so you're right. It was.
All right. Okay, don't hate me. I don't even know who this person is. So I feel a little out of the loop here. Ravi Shankar.
You don't oh, hold on. We gotta tell Rena who Ravi Shankar is. So
yeah, I don't know. Who is it? I have this card.
You like the Beatles, right?
I do.
My friend. Who's your favorite?
George.
Right. Remember the Indian instruments he played?
Yeah.
Guess who he learned that from?
Ravi Shankar. Wow.
Nora Jones? Are you a Nora Jones fan?
I am.
That's his daughter.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay. Interesting. Well, thanks for the education. Don't come at me, guys. Seriously.
It's all right, guys. She knows who he is. She just didn't know who he was. Like, she knows his work. She knows his influence. It's okay.
It's gonna be okay. Did you draw the same one?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I got Madonna.
Oh, good. Everybody knows who Madonna is, so
she's been around since I was watching MTV as a little kid, because that was my entertainment.
She dated Prince. Do you know that? She dated Prince.
I did know that, but I forgot.
They're both so dominant that you
like, how long did that last? That's my question.
I'm not quite sure, but I think it was very brief. But you can tell in her work, you know, if I were to figure out about the time that was happening, you could feel the influences in her work. I'd probably vice versa, you know. So, yeah.
What? She's a Leo and he's a Gemini. You have to look at everything in the chart, but
yeah, it would be interesting. You should pick that apart. I would love to pick that apart.
That would be interesting. I would think there's some explosive connection synastry, and also some that are maybe deal breakers. I don't know. That's just my first.
Oh, you know it. You know it. There's probably a lot of deal breakers on both parts, for reals.
It would be an interesting compatibility to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what brought two strong personalities like that together. There's got to be some Mars stuff happening.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, we should look at that. We should do a little research. Maybe pick something like that apart. That would be super cool to look at.
That would be cool.
All right. You want me to share my message first, or you share yours?
Why don't you go with yours?
Okay. So with the attitude, Ravi says, always read and play between the lines. That's interesting. For lifestyle, your true nature is reflected in silence. Man, I feel like this card is really speaking to me today. I don't know about you. Inspiration. Music is the infinite space between two souls.
I love that.
Okay, so with George and Nora, I can totally see that. That makes so much sense.
Yes.
Very interesting.
I don't know how he has another daughter. I'm not sure. I don't know everything about him, but he has another daughter as well that plays a lot of the Indian instruments. Is amazing. I don't know the story about Nora and his relationship, like how I don't know much about that, but it'd be, yeah. She definitely got his talent.
Oh, yeah. She's incredible. Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, I got Madonna here, just to recap. And I feel like it's kind of funny because right before I pulled this, and I was talking about Oracle decks, I'm like, Brandy, opened your big mouth. Like I kind of like talk and then think. It's the Gemini in me. Like,
that's definitely the Gemini. That's okay. It always makes sense. It does.
There's just no connection between my brain and mouth. It's out my mouth, then to my brain, and then I'm like, I can't take it back. But so sorry guys, I didn't mean to. But anyway, then I pulled this card and it says everyone is entitled to your opinion.
I love it.
Yeah. And then
Brandy's a wise woman. Start listening, folks.
I don't know about that. I do have my smart glasses on, but pleasure without permission can be the greatest pleasure of all. I like rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
You are and always will be your own work in progress.
I love it. I love it. That is a great Madonna message. That's totally awesome. I love it so much.
I like this because with the Jupiter squaring the moon, and now that the new moon is kind of separating, Jupiter is still squaring the sun. We have Venus sextile to Jupiter. So this card kind of makes me think about this Jupiter energy we're getting right now. So makes sense.
Definitely. Totally. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, guys, make sure you visit Brandy's website. Get yourself a natal chart. Brandy, what else do you offer? Transit readings we talked about.
Readings. I even have mini readings on there now because for some people, astrology, it's a lot to take in, and so I have the sun, moon, and rising sign. So if you want to know the basic 3 things to your personality, to who you are, that'll give you a chunk of information to start with. So I offer those now too.
That's wonderful. I mean, that's just kind of even, I know there's so much more, but understanding those 3 things will help you understand why you are who you are, like in
huge,
just a well-rounded form.
It'll help you understand your personality, why you emotionally react a certain way, and it'll give you understanding about how people react to you with that rising sign. So it's it's very beneficial to know those.
Yes, very interesting. So I'm a Taurus sun sign with Capricorn rising and moon, and I could never, like, I knew for a long time that I was a Taurus, but when people think of Taurus, they think of like this lazy goddess energy that likes to eat. Okay, so yes, that does sound like me, but you put me in my passion and I want to do that all day long for 8 days a week, right? Like, seriously.
I like the Beatles reference there, 8 days a week.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, so I couldn't figure out where this lazy piece, because I'm not a lazy person. Yes, I like to take naps and I schedule one every day because self-care is important, but my work is so important, and that's where those Capricorn pieces come from. So it really helped me figure out who I am.
Yeah, and even like first impressions from people with Capricorn rising, it's so interesting. People will see you as a hard worker. They might see you as serious, and even somebody who's very jovial, but like the first impression is this serious energy to people. It's very funny. People love Capricorn rising humor. So see, like just right there, you get a little bit of.
Yeah. They don't see me as soft, even though I am very compassionate and soft. I'm very to the point. So, like my husband will be like, geez, you're mean. No, I'm honest.
And that will be your Mercury. So, full natal chart reading, you can look at Mercury and we can talk about how you like to communicate, how honest you are, or how. Good
Very.
All right. Pop your website on there too, because you tell us everything you're offering. Like, my goodness.
So, of course, we have the keys of the universe. Those are my specialties here. See, I got a little, this is the key of light pendant. I have my geomancy services. So I have the advanced space clearings. I have the clearing and curing of your home sessions. Those are the geomancy sessions. We got rechecks on there. I also offer tarot readings and energy work services. So there is a ton for you to check out. I also blog every week. If anybody's into checking out what I blog about, some of it's kind of interesting.
It's all interesting. I admire like just your organization and being able to give us this info every week. Like, I mean, last time I blogged was like over a year ago. Like,
this is that Capricorn piece of me. We have things that we have to do.
I need some of that. I need it.
So yes, we have lots of fun stuff, and Brandy has crystals on her website too. She's got these little crystal.
Oh, thank you, Rena. I forgot. I've been working on getting that listed. So I got astrological crystals, the crystal set to go with your sun sign, and then the oils, and still putting stuff on there. But we got all those on there that you can just buy directly.
That's right. Yeah, lots of really cool offerings. So make sure you check us out. And, invite your friends to check out this show. Drop us some comments. We love interacting with you. And definitely make sure you send us some hearts. So
please, yeah, let us know how you're enjoying it. Yeah, hopefully we're entertaining you. Giving you good information.
Well, if nothing else, Brandy, we're entertaining ourselves.
I am so entertained. I forgot my hair.
Brandy's bald today. So
I know. I got the stringy yarn hair. I want my curly yarn hair. Next week.
Mine's just up in a ponytail underneath the hat. So the hat probably actually looks better than the messy ponytail I got going on. So
I love our wigs. Like, oh my gosh, I wish I could wear them every day. Like, can I just leave the house with that instead of like
wear it every single day? My husband was like, "Are those for Halloween?" And I'm like, "No, this is for like every day."
Everyday wear.
Yes, it is. All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in. We are so excited to be here with you. And until next time, we will see you later.